Let me tell you how I came into contact with Swami. When Howard Murfitt approached me that he is writing a book on how people came to see Swami, I told him, I'm sorry, Swami has told me not to tell anyone. He said, why? I said, I don't know. Ask Swami why he has told me not to tell. So we approached Swami, Howard and I. And Swami says, nahi, abhi permission hai, bolo tu. And lately he has told me that you go on speaking about your experience. I said, Swami, if I speak about my experiences, I've got to say I all the time. And people will think that I am talking. He said, no, you better speak about I and I. I want you to speak about your experiences. I said, you'll look bad. So I'm sorry, I spoke to him like this. Anyway, in 1963, I developed a very bad cough. Very bad cough. And it became so bad that I could not sleep flat. I almost spent my night almost in a half supine position. I had myself examined, and they found that I had a tumor the size of a golf ball in my throat, in the nasopharyngeal area. The nasopharyngeal area is where the nose and the throat connect. And my voice was becoming like that. This is how I was speaking. This was my voice. This is how I was speaking. And at that time, I was so many years younger. And it meant the end of my practice, really, because who will go to a doctor whom you can hardly hear what he is talking? I'm sorry. And they wanted to operate on me. Now, I have seen 3 cases like this. The operation, you know, sound, when you speak, sound is a voice is trapped sound. You trap sound and therefore the voice comes true. Now, I have seen those operations where the nasopharynx is opened up and the result is just as bad. You speak just the same way. Right, doctor? Isn't it? Like this. So, cut a long story short, somebody gave me a picture of Swami. And I said, please keep it. I don't know. I have respect. I've been brought up in a family which respects all religions, everything. But some vibhuti he gave me. I said, no, please, you keep it. This was 6 months before I became worse. And dire necessity, no spiritual quest, no hunger, no nothing, no, just Swami's calling card. And it was in that same Savant's minister's place that Swami was there in Bombay when he called me. So I went to see him. Now I knew nothing about Swami. So I went there at 12 o'clock when Swami retired. And being a minister's bungalow, there was a policeman at the gate. So I said, Swami has called me. Yeah, aap educated dikhta hai. You are an educated looking man. Why are you saying things like that? Swami has called you. Where is the call? How am I to answer? Where is the call? Nothing. I don't know what came over me. It was 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I went there. The sun was hot. I decided to stay on the road across the bungalow. It became 1:30, 1:45. I was getting very tired. Finally, I decided mentally that at 2 o'clock I'll call it quits and I'll go home. Suddenly in that bungalow, it's a 3-story bungalow, a small window opens on top. And Swami looks out. And he calls me like this. Now mind you, Swami is calling me. The police people are standing here, Swami is here. They have not seen Swami. And there were 2 Sindhi ladies, I think they were widows, because they were in white dress. They were next to me. So I do not know whether he called me or them. So they also came along with me. The policeman got exasperated. He said, I'll lock you up now if you come again. But you know, Swami's kindness. From the 3rd floor, and there was no lift there. Swami came down the stairs. Came down, and then of course the policeman could not stop me. Then he stood there and he was doing like this. I had no idea how Swami was. But you know, I couldn't control myself. I wasn't crying, but tears came down my face. And I was feeling embarrassed that those ladies are looking at me, tears are coming down my face. And Swami looks at me like this. Just for 2 or 3 minutes he must have done that, and I felt a whole lifetime pass by. Now mind you, I was brought up in a very scientific community. Swami's very appearance would not have appealed. I will tell you the honest fact. As I felt completely at peace when I saw him. I felt completely one with him. Surprising. And Swami looks at me, and then he says a very funny thing. Mother is not well. So I said, mother has got asthma, Swami. She has not been well for 40 years. Bring her to me tomorrow. Or you also come. You also come. So I said, but these police people won't allow me inside. So he turned around, told somebody, and they gave me a pass for 2. So I went there. At 9 o'clock, Swami said, come next. Now, if Swami had called me at 9, he had called 200 other people also at 9. When I went there, but they were all people in all kinds of sickness. There was a girl who was moaning because she had a tumor in the head. All kinds of things. And we were all sitting there. Like a doctor, I think I was called 4th. I and my mother went inside, and Swami stood like, I'm standing here. He stood talking to mother, completely gave me his back, as if he's completely excluding me from the conversation. And he told mother, you're breathing like this. Now, that's no great shake, because she had an asthmatic body. So if you took one look at her and you knew what asthma is, she had asthma. So, but mother was not interested in herself. So she got upset. She said, but about him, she just said, Malum hai mama. Now look, I was looking as normal as I'm looking. I mean, it was here. But it was not showing. Malum hai, uppar hai. Uppar hai. Negative thoughts, positive thoughts. Should I operate? Should I not get operated? Then mother asked the question that she was worried about. She said, is it cancer? Swami took one step backward. Cancer? He said, such authority. Cancer? He is not your son. He is my boy. He has come through you. How can he have cancer? No cancer. Then he told my mother, put your hands out like this. So she put her hands out like this. And he poured a lot of vibhuti. Now mother had never seen it, I had never seen it. A lot of vibhuti into her hand. So she said, what should I do? Khajao. He said it in such authority, khajao. I think if she had not told it in such a strong way, the old lady would not have taken it. I'm telling you all. So she just gulped it up down in front of him. She khajao. He said such authority. Then he turns around to me and says, don't worry, in 3 days you will be all right. A week and just communicate in front of the fire which we venerate, and to our Mazda, Zarathustra used to comment. And I told Zarathustra, I want a human agency to help me. Like this, I was arguing with him. So I went home. I said, I'm not going to show myself to a doctor. I felt much better. If the doctor tells me that the tumor is still there, the psychology will go. 6 months passed in this. 6 months passed. One morning I got up and I spat blood. Little blood, not that much, but I got very nervous. So I went to my ENT surgeon who just died at the age of 101. Just died in Bombay, one of the leading surgeons. And I said, Hiru, just see. He said, you're very tense. I can't examine you, you're very tense. What have you eaten? I said, no, I have got up from bed and I have come straight to you. He used to start his practice at 7 o'clock, 6:37 in the morning. So I said, I've just come straight to you. He said, I will induct you. Induct means not give anesthesia, slightly make you relaxed, and I will examine you. So he inducted me. He says, tell me what happened. I said, why? It's not there. So I sat down, I talked to him, told him what happened. And he said, yes, I heard this about Baba. You are a blessed man, go. So that was my confirmation that I don't have anything. After that, there was no going back. I mean, if there is one quality I have is I'm not ungrateful for whatever happened. So Swami said, no, yeah, I'm grateful. This is only my calling card. I should have called you long ago. This is just my calling card.